For the past 2 years, Jocko Fuel has been the only supplement I've consumed. It's helped me stay in shape now that my competitive career is finished. If you've been waiting to try Jocko, the wait is over. Jocko has now teamed with Walmart, bringing clean fuel to the entire nation. Jocko Fuel is loaded with all the good stuff and none of the bad. And I'm talking no added sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and absolutely no gray area or banned substances. Just pure, clean fuel to power your performances. Jocko Fuel is now available in Walmart nationwide. Products available at your local Walmart are Jocko Malt, ready to drink, Jocko Malt powder, and Jocko pre-workout. How convenient. Guys, the time is now. Consider trying some of my favorites like Jocko Go and Jocko Hydrate. You can even do it online. Use code Chael30 at JockoFuel.com or just stop by your local Walmart and get your hands on some Jocko ASAP. Don't wait, might not last. Fuel up with Jocko Fuel and crush your goals. Now there's no excuse for not having clean fuel. Guys, I want you to go get Jocko Fuel today at Walmart. Khabib hates being a cornerman. Now, this isn't new. Did you guys see this article that came out? And I got to tell you, if you happen to see it and it was your first time, it's not new. He has said that for a meaningful period of time. And it was actually the travel and the involvement in the time of MMA that steered Khabib from personally competing in MMA. He wanted that time to be to himself. And an athlete can be very selfish. An athlete can stay home, and an athlete can do certain things and chalk it up to the athletic event. I mean, everybody will let you get away with it. A coach is very selfless. Coach is operating largely on somebody else's time and for their benefit, and it's a very hard thing. It's one of the top reasons why guys don't become both, right? Where you're great athletes and your great coaches aren't the same guy. So Khabib, when he did this, as best as I could understand the story, which was always translated and secondhand, when he retired, was going to see this through for Islam, but only Islam. That is the way that I understood this. And the only time that we saw Khabib was in Islam's corner. And that started to change. And there was guys that were doing articles on it. I believe Islam himself even fought without Khabib. But when the title fight came, then Khabib came back, and it was at least presented to us, the audience, as a one-off. This is a one-off, but this is the heir apparent to the very throne that he left available. He's going to be part of it. I remember hearing Umar. I remember hearing Usman. Just for example, Nurmagomedov. For example, talking about it's unusual to fight without Khabib, but this is what they need to do. And one of them even did a piece and said, I got a call from Khabib, so I've got my instructions. I felt like he was with me. I believe him, and off I go. So there was a period of time where Khabib was not in the corner. Just to support my initial point that this is what caused the retirement in the first place, and now Khabib is back, and he's all over. He's in a lot of places, a lot of really top guys. And when I talk about it's very common for an athlete to be selfish and that to never be looked at. Like his own circle will go, well, hey, that's what he is. Hey, leave him alone. It's just part of it. But it is unique to their team that it is not like that. Whether you are a millionaire and you are champion of the world, or you're a brand new guy and who knows what your future is going to bring, on their team, it's all equal. They will all eat the same thing. They will all dress and they will all be at practice at the same time. They will do the same thing. They're a very real team. They are the realest team that we have in MMA. They're the closest thing to a team that we have in MMA. They might be the closest thing to the team that we have, and I can just stop right there. It's always been one of my problems with being a fan of the NFL or the NBA, something like this. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. We'll have people that love the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm out here in Oregon. And that's a really tough concept for me to understand because those players don't love you. Those players are whores. And as soon as somebody gives them some more money, they're going to drop your jersey off and they're going to go somewhere else. And it's not as though the fan doesn't know that or understand it. It's the way the game is played. Guy's got the right to be a whore. He's playing for money. You're showing up. You're spending money. You're there because you have a passion and a care. He's there for the money. And I personally have just always had a hard time with that. It's what's always drawn me more to college sports. And now they've got this portal, and college guys can leave, and you don't have a team. I don't know why they talk about team. There's books written on team, and here's what you had, team bonding and unity, and you're going to go do these things. I mean, everything from we go camp in the woods so that we all have to depend on each other, whatever it might be. But nowhere in life is there actually a team. It's just words. I'm a wrestling fan. We have the Olympic team. Every 4 years, we have an Olympic team. And somebody is going to run that program. And believe me, they're going to get them together and do this team unity, which is just weird. They're not a team. They trained with their actual team. The guys that are now on the fellow Olympic team beat your actual teammates who you wanted here, who you wanted to win. But for 1 week, every 4 years, we're all going to wear matching singlets that some other sponsor gave us. That's the truth. We are not a team. And we don't need to be a team. No matter how badly I want you to win a wrestling match, in the history of time, that has never scored a single person a single point. No matter how much your fellow team is not paying attention to your wrestling match or is disinterested, in the history of time, that has never cost an athlete a point. It's not real. You're not really a team. And that's true on all levels, and they've now made that true. The closest thing that you have still is high school with the boundaries. The only people that can be on your team must live within this boundary. And I share that because the Lakers couldn't dispute what I just said. The 49ers couldn't dispute what I just said. No MMA organization can dispute what I just said. No Olympic sport, regardless of how bad they want to tell you they're a team, would dispute what I just said. Well, we're not really a team. We just have matching uniforms. Like, it's not real. Except for Khabib's team. And if you have an example around that, please tell me. I don't know of it anywhere in the world. You don't get born in France and then you're part of Khabib's team. Now, even if those guys would welcome you in, which is a big welcome, but even if they would welcome you in, I'm just sharing for you, they haven't. They haven't gone out and recruited somebody once they made it to the top or once they showed some potential that they could make it to the top. They haven't done those things. They haven't scoured even their nation of Russia and start recruiting and bringing people in. They don't do any of those things. They are guys that are born in a close enough proximity that first off, they can hear about these practices, and second off, can get or have somebody else get them to practice on a daily basis. That's it. They're an actual team. Now, that would be very cool on a professional level, right? Like, I would get behind Portland taking on Los Angeles or Portland taking on Las Vegas, for that matter. If it was actually people from the area that were formed a team and then they wore matching uniforms, that I would understand. That you would actually have something. That is where the Nick Sabans of the world that like to come out with some power speech and a guy will be blown away and go, oh my God, that guy's incredible. Nick Saban's never had a team. He's paid for a whole bunch of guys that for 4 short years of their life will wear the similar jerseys. All of the team stuff is fake. These are fake things. These are not real. With one exception on the face of the world that I'm aware of, which happens to be Khabib's team. That's an actual team. That is an actual all for one and one for all. And when Khabib says he doesn't like being a coach, he's very good and the athletes want him. And I've wondered what he meant when he says, I don't like doing it. Does he mean with his time? Or does he mean with the emotional investment that he has in the guys and the ups and downs and the emotion that you feel of being in that corner and trying to give something to that athlete? Is that what he means by he didn't enjoy it? I don't know. I don't know. I just know he appears to have the Midas touch. It appears that anything Khabib touches turns to gold. If you knew nothing about the sport and you had to have one clue, and then you had to go bet. You had to bet on the sport. You only got one clue. You were better to know whose corner is Khabib in than any other stat that would be available. That'd be more helpful than height, reach, weight, record. The single best thing you could know, if you were to just bet blindly, is who is Khabib with? And you would make more money handicapping than any single detail that you could have. And when Khabib says he doesn't like the sport, or rather, I apologize, he doesn't like cornering, doesn't like coaching, there is two different ways to take that. And I think that perhaps what Khabib is just talking about is the emotional drain of it. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe these guys drive him crazy and he doesn't want to be with them. But I don't tend to think that's what he meant.